New York Jets rumors are heating up as a key New York Jets insider has just revealed the truth on all the noise surrounding the Breece Hall trade saga and how the Jets' new regime feels about Breece Hall in regards to what's going to happen next, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And if you guys are part of that 69% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, not nice, because you guys better subscribe to our channel. We're on that grind right now. Thank you for 5K, but let's jump into the video. We have a lot to discuss because Breece Hall, he has been widely seen as one of the bigger parts of the Jets' future over the past couple of years since they drafted him, and he evidently was one of the best running backs in the NFL in his first season. He quickly took over for Dalvin Cook, who the Jets signed in that effort to put together a contender around Aaron Rodgers year one. Obviously, the Jets didn't have a viable backup. Rodgers goes down. Dalvin Cook was not the same player that he once was. The Jets' offensive line was no help there. And then Breece Hall took over, and it became evidently clear that Breece Hall was the better running back in his rookie season compared to Dalvin Cook, which turned a lot of heads. Not too many people expected that, myself included. Though I was a big fan of Breece Hall's for a while, I thought Dalvin had a lot left in him, or at least something left in him. He didn't. But where Breece Hall was, he showed that he was an excellent rookie running back, and then he tore his ACL on a run against the Denver Broncos, which really sucked for everyone involved. However, he did come back, and since then, he hasn't been exactly what he was in his rookie year, but there is a lot of hope that he could get back there and a lot of expectations that with more stability, he very well could get back, especially with the Jets being linked to Armand Membo in the draft very heavily. It's likely the Jets beef up that offensive line, and they're a run-heavy team that could benefit Breece Hall a lot. At the same time, Breece Hall does not seem thrilled about that three running back format that the Jets are going to use, and really when you're using Justin Fields as well. It's a true run-by-committee team. It's the way the NFL is going. Breece Hall posted a photo of a monkey looking angry at a phone while smoking a cigarette, and now he's been the subject of some trade conversations. There's been talk about potentially trading Breece Hall if Ashton Jeanty falls to the Jets, and the Jets then use Breece to get more draft capital, draft Jeanty in the first round, and then have what would be a game-changing running back where there's only so many of, which would be very, very interesting to see. All that being said, though, there was a few different updates on Breece Hall, as Connor Hughes mentioned, saying that the Jets have an entirely new coaching staff. None of them have been made available to the media aside from Aaron Glenn, who very clearly does not want to share his opinions with us. I have no idea how Glenn feels about Hall, and no one does, although the way he answered a series of questions on the backfield in West Palm Beach was interesting, and he continued saying that there were some concerns with Hall from the Jets' last coaching staff. They wanted to see more toughness from him. He's an elite home run hitter, but the best backs get the ugly yards too. Those 3 and 4 yard runs don't look great on the box sheet, but set up the chunks of the later, set up the chunks later, not the chunks of the later. Hall, the last regime felt, was sometimes apprehensive to do that dirty work, and look, I don't disagree, and that is one of the reasons why we saw this fella, Braylon Allen, come in and get a lot of touches. I mean, he took 92 rush yards last season, and he was getting 3.6 yards per attempt, and look, he got 2 touchdowns. He became this third down back because he wasn't afraid of doing the dirty work. He was not afraid of that stuff. He wanted to be getting on the field any way possible and was happy to do the dirty work on those third downs and those close, just being on inches plays and stuff. Look, Braylon Allen was he was a very nice surprise for the New York Jets, and they do want to use him a lot this year, along with Isaiah Davis next to Breece Hall. And Breece, in his 3 seasons in the NFL, he's definitely been great. I mean, his 2023 year, he nearly had 1,000 rushing yards, was 6 yards short, had 5 touchdowns, 40 first downs, had the longest rush attempt of anyone in the NFL in that season with an 83-yard run. So there was a lot to like, but his yards per game did go down a tiny bit. He was averaging 66 yards per game in his first NFL season before going down with the injury. He was on track for around a 1,000-yard season, had 4 touchdowns as well, so that was his best year up until the injury. The next year after, he was recovering from that torn ACL, but looked really good. And then this year, things did not look as great. Had 876 yards, still 5 touchdowns, 40 first downs like last season, but his yards per game did go down again. And look, part of that is the whole multiple backs thing, but at the same time, it feels like he's just losing some grip on everything, and he can definitely get it back. He's young. He's 23 years old. He's going to be 24 next season. He certainly isn't like dead in the water or anything. He's certainly going to be able to bounce back. But it's just become this situation for Breece Hall that he has to show some more stuff. He has to be willing to make those ugly 3-yard, 4-yard pound the rock plays that he's been apprehensive to doing. That's just a part of being one of the elite running backs. Breece Hall has said he could be the best running back in the league any year. And a lot of Jets fans do agree because he's shown all the skill in the world to do it. It's just a matter of putting it all together for Breece Hall, which is really going to do it. Now, I've said this about a few players last year, Sauce Gardner specifically, but I'll say this about Breece Hall as well. Last year was the weirdest season I've ever seen for an NFL team. The Jets, on paper, had a top 3 roster in football and ended up with the 7th overall pick. Aaron Rodgers felt like his decision-making was so strange. I mean, the amount of times that there were delay of games, and remember that one game that ended because Aaron Rodgers didn't snap or get the ball snapped fast enough? Like, there was just a bunch of really, really, really weird stuff going on last year. Obviously, being one game out of first place in the division and firing your head coach isn't going to help. So everything about Breece Hall, you kind of can say, like, with most players on the Jets last year, right, a down year, it's like, look, that was the weirdest season anyone's ever seen. Many Jets fans said it was the worst season they ever watched. It was quite a time to start Jets Digest. And, well, where we are now, things can only go up from here because that chaos, at least, will not continue. Now, Hall, he was good at receiving. He's been good at receiving. I mean, was getting 11.5 yards per reception his first season, and 8.5 this year. Had 483 receiving yards this year, 591 last year, so he showed a lot of good receiving yards as well. He's been a good receiving back as well. He's able to do so much with the football. It's just a matter of if he's willing to do those dirty work plays. That's really going to change everything for him because it'll make him one of the top 3 running backs in the NFL like he was projected to be this last season. And again, everything went wrong. Everything that could have went wrong went wrong. It was the Murphy's Law of a season, but with what happened there, it just has now become this situation where he'll be used in the backfield as a receiver a lot at the same time. They'll use Braylon Allen. They'll use Isaiah Davis on the runs as well. So Breece is still going to get his touches. And Aaron Glenn said that he believes Breece is going to be happy and everyone else is going to be happy as well. But Breece did want to be that main guy. He wanted to be the focal point. And there has been a few guys named that we'll go into in 1 second. But one of the reasons why Breece is not happy is maybe he doesn't want Braylon Allen taking his touches. Look, where things stand right now, there is more to go over, especially in regards to the NFL draft, because Connor Hughes mentioned that was the last regime, though, that had problems with Breece. It wasn't this one. Aaron Glenn has made it clear on multiple occasions he is not the last regime. It would be very surprising to see, or to Connor Hughes, if the Jets gave up on a talent like Breece Hall to bring in someone new, unless they were blown away with a trade offer. Is any team going to break the bank on a player who's already had a major knee injury and is yet to run for 1,000 yards? Probably not, especially considering that his contract is not that much longer as well. So you're probably getting like a 3rd-round pick at best for Breece Hall right now. So is that really what you want to do? It becomes this situation. And in regards to the draft, there are some names that you can go and look at, like a Marion Hampton, who on PFF, on the big board, is ranked as the 25th player. Now, these are running backs. He's not ranked as the 25th running back, but looking at a few running backs, he is second after Ashton Jeanty, so he's someone who they could certainly look at, mentioning that he's one of the most physically gifted players in the class. I did almost say pleeple, was between players and people, and did that classic move. But on top of that, he's got a combination of size, explosiveness, and lower body strength that he could really use in the NFL, and it's probably going to make him a very boom or bust producer. So it's a risk, but he is someone that the New York Jets could target if they do want to draft a running back early and move on from Hall. Outside of that, there's also Cam Scatterbo, which he's been very solid out of Arizona. So he's someone else who the Jets will probably look at out of Arizona State, that is. But it was mentioned that he plays the game in a manner that's easy for NFL teams to love. He's a massive chip on his shoulder. NFL teams will gravitate towards his mentality, and it will lead to him becoming at least a 3rd down back, if not way more. So there are options that the New York Jets have to go with. Also a guy like Dylan Sampson, who's also going to be somewhere around that 2nd, 3rd round selection. So that'll be interesting to see, as he's a very, very fast running back. He's a speedster with explosiveness, with patience, and just vision and everything. He'd be a good receiving back as well. This is the type of player who most relates. Dylan Sampson is probably the closest in comparison to Breece Hall. So if the Jets found him in the 3rd round and decided to move on from Breece Hall, maybe they'd do that and try to get that 3rd round pick for Breece, kind of reset contracts and everything. It's possible. Is it likely? Probably not. They're probably just going to have Breece Hall next year. And I want Breece Hall to be here next year. I'm a big fan of Breece Hall. I want to see him succeed with the New York Jets. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.